All right, well, it is May 11th. This is the Town Manager Q&A. I'm Robert Smith, Town Manager, Town of Windermere. We have Councilmember Bill Martini on. We have Public Works Director Tanya Elliott Moore. And we have one resident on, which we can provide all the answers that you need that lives in Tryon Place. And again, I don't want to butcher your name, but what was it again?
Clotilde. I go by Chloe. Don't worry about it.
All right, Chloe. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's much easier.
Well, Chloe, typically for these Q&As, I can either go through a rundown of all the projects that the town's been working on, and or I can answer questions specific to what brought you to this meeting, or questions that you might have on what's going on in the town of Windermere. So it can be long, drawn out, or I can give you the information that you need and go from there. So did you have any specific concerns, or you just want to know?
I had a question about, whether there is any plan for the town of Windermere to be connected to the sewage system.
Yes, there is. It is very costly. And in my budget analysis report, which will be conducted probably on the 26th of May, the initial report, just to take a look holistically at the entire town, is $350,000. Now, a lot of people think the town of Windermere is, full of cash and we can spend money whatever way we want. But the reality is we're only 2.2 square miles, and the tax revenues we collect are about, well, next year's gonna be about 2.9 million. And then the balance of that is through ancillary taxes. But just to fund that portion, I'm looking to hopefully be able to fund half of it, 50%, which starts on October 1st of 2023. And then the second half in October 1st of 2024. But in the interim, what I'm trying to do is work with Orange County to see if they have funds to help supplement our portion, enable for us to do a report. Now, what does that report give you? It gives you an overview of what your needs are going to be, as far as what capacity you're going to need and whatever plant that they're going to move you to. And right now, the indication is that they're going to make us send all of our wastewater to an area in Horizons West. Anything that is east of us is already committed to, and they don't have capacity in their wastewater systems or their reuse systems. So we have to spend $350,000 just to do the report. After we have the report, then we have to do the design. I think that's about $3 million. And then after that, for implementation of the actual design, you're looking at over $40 million. That's a 40.
This is huge. Yeah.
Yeah. My overall budget for last fiscal year was 7.7 million. So if I were to put soft services for 8 years, I'd possibly be able to fund this project. So that's why we look at grants, earmarks, and other revenue sources to help us leverage and get these types of reports and studies completed so we can actually implement them. But wastewater is a big one. I know it's going to be, or eventually will come down as a state mandate. Whether it's the next 2 years, 5 years, I know it's coming, but hopefully that comes with money. But right now it's just too cost prohibitive for us to move forward with that. But at least we will have the report done probably in 2 years' time, that we can start asking for money for design, money for construction. But with that kind of price tag, it's pretty hard for us to absorb. And it's not like it's town proper, which I mean is like the dirt roads, but on Tryon Place and stuff like that, the paved areas are where we have the biggest issues, and that's where the biggest cost is going to be. But we do have a plan for it. It's just costly, and it's going to take quite a bit of time. So I'm not going to make any promises that in the next 5 years you're going to have wastewater. You're probably looking at the next 10 years, possibly.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. There is nothing you can do. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question for Chloe and also Robert. Are the manors on public water? Orange
No.
County Water? Okay, so if that's you don't have Orange County water?
No.
Okay, so you'll probably get public water way before sewer. We do have a master plan for public water, which we are going to implement much quicker than we could possibly do sewer. And then we've also got a new bridge over the canal, which will connect, both halves of the town. There's a new bridge coming, which will probably be in before the water gets there. And it'll be wide enough for golf carts to pass side by side rather than the very narrow bridge that's there now. I just want to make sure you're aware of that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and this public water, you said sooner than 10 years. So when would that be? Because that's also a question I had about whether there's any plan to connect us to public water.
I'm hoping in the next 5 years that everybody will be connected to a potable water system with adequate fire flows.
Okay.
Yeah, we're funding probably, I would say maybe 20% through our current HMGP grants. There's lines throughout town that we just need to connect to and loop them, so we have those flows. But we have the study, we have the report that has been approved by Orange County Utilities that says, yes, this is the way you should do it, and this is how you should do it. It's just a matter of getting the money to implement it.
Okay. And you have sources that you can get this money from, grants, or where's the money going to come from?
Well, the town dedicates at least $152,000 per year for this project. It is a $10 million overall project, but 1.4 of that is going to be funded either through partially by HMGP or the American Recovery Act dollars. If Build Back Better or any other infrastructure plans are approved and we can tap into those resources, we'll definitely try to get those. Because again, with that price tag, it's going to take us a long time to fund those projects.
Mhm.
But we try our hardest to make sure that we are trying to figure out where the best resources and, where do we have a good option, or, we don't want to put all our effort into something that's not going to happen. So we'll be very selective on where we try to put our efforts in for certain grants. And we've been very successful over the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years. By getting grants, I would say we probably went over $4 million. So, we're doing whatever we can to make sure that we're not having a negative impact to taxpayers, but able to tap into those federal, state, local resources to pay for those infrastructure projects.
Okay, sounds good. And anything on internet providers having a wide, I don't know if it's really relevant to the town, but I'm very frustrated with my internet service as everybody else. And I was wondering whether the town is trying to, how come we don't have any competition and there's only one provider, well, not one provider, but
Yeah.
Spectrum, let's name it.
That is a great question.
It's horrible. Horrible. And they,
honestly,
they increase their price $5 every 3 months for the same service, and you cannot do anything. This is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the town is not in that industry, and we don't provide that type of service, and I'm not sure many municipalities do. So the market dictates, what is going to, what companies will come into an area and, upfront the costs in order to get the services. We did have one that was looking at implementing 5G within town, but I live in Warner Garden in an area that was next to Fowler Grove. And my internet goes out all the time. My neighbor works for Disney and he has Zoom calls pretty much every day as I do. And we keep getting kicked off and dropped during certain times. It's not just a localized issue. It's I would say, an issue all around Central Florida. Because when you're looking at internet, if you're not fiber connected or anything like that, then your internet's coming from certain locations and the broadband's coming down. But with the amount of users that you have right now and the types of devices that they have, it's just pretty much sucking all of that broadband in. So unless we have a company that's willing to invest in the area and upsize the service, we're at their mercy, whether it's Spectrum, CenturyLink, or another third party. But, we have those issues at the town admin, and we have those issues in the surrounding area. So I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't.
You know, okay.
Believe me, my wife always, whenever Netflix goes down, I get a text message, hey, the internet's down again. So the less I have to hear about that, the better.
What is really frustrating is that we have to pay huge amount of money and the service sucks. So, yeah.
Agreed.
There is nobody else.
I was given some advice the other day. The Spectrum offers $49 a month introductory rate to new customers for the first 12 months. Even, I've been a customer with Spectrum, Bright House, whatever you call it this month, for 20 years. And if you call them and demand to speak to a retention specialist, they will ratchet your monthly rate down to something close to the introductory rate. Now, I haven't tried that yet, but it might be worth a phone call for you, Chloe, to see if you can get a discount because of that.
Yeah,
that's a good. I'll call tomorrow morning because.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you, Bill. I'll try.
Yeah, try it. You never know.
It doesn't cost anything. You call them and you don't have.
The worst they can say is no.
Yeah. Just ask to speak to a retention specialist. Tell them, you're thinking about canceling your service. And
they're going to tell you, where are you going to go?
I think, well, there's really not many options, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's
No.
okay. Thank you for the advice, Bill.
Sure. Yeah, my pleasure. Let me know if it works. Because
yeah, I will.
I'm going to call them tomorrow. I'll meet you back here next month, and we'll compare notes.
Sure.
Well, close or any other,
no, I think maybe one thing for of course, and you probably remember me around that issue, the pickleball court.
Pickleball, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, nothing has been presented to myself or town council at this point. I think they are still looking at options on how to mute the noise that would be accompanied with a pickleball court. And I think Tanya can better respond to that because she sits in the Parks and Recreation Committee meetings. But from what I've seen right now, I don't know if there's any political will to move forward with adding pickleball courts at Windermere Recreation Center. But I'll have Tanya go ahead and comment to that point.
Yeah, the Parks and Rec Committee have had some passive discussions relative to what could be put there that would dim the sound of pickleball, but they've really been focused on other things such as Palmer Park and things like that. So it's been kind of a passive discussion about pickleball, but not a whole lot at their last couple of meetings. So they may be considering that might not have enough political foothold for them to keep pursuing.
Okay, thank you, Bill and Tanya, Robert and Tanya.
No, it's okay.
I'll take credit for that.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thank you. I do remember you asking about that, and
I
have spoken with a number of residents who are opposed to it because of the noise and the proximity to their houses. And one of the things we did discuss or was suggested are temporary nets that and maybe some temporary striping either on the existing courts here in town or the basketball court. And they have these movable temporary nets that have wheels, and you can swing them out and back in for use to see, first of all, if there really is interest in that type of accommodation for pickleball players. Because, you know, we'd hate to spend $20,000-$30,000 to build a pickleball court and not have anybody show up. You know, I think we wanted to find out, or there was a suggestion to find out if there really was interest first. And that's kind of like the last conversation we had, and it hasn't been brought up for a few months. So I'm not going to bring it up myself. So
don't pull the pin on that grenade. And I know,
No.
you know, the tennis purists that we have don't want the striping out there because they believe that it's going to take over a section of the tennis courts that they already believe are already, you know, used too much. So, yeah, so it's a wait and see, but if and when, or, you know, if it does come up again, we'll definitely notify all the residents that are in the surrounding area for their input.
Yeah, I think at this point it's a sleeping dog, and we're going to let that dog lie until further notice.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I think,
right.
yeah.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for,
you, Chloe. I mean,
So I'm the only one attending that meeting?
this is it.
I mean,
Okay,
you're the superstar. You're the focus of our attention right now, and you're gonna be like everybody's gonna come to you for all the information.
The close Q&A, right?
The Clue Q&A, exactly.
It's hard to tell how many people are going to be showing up at these things because, you know, I know this one was kind of advertised a little late, but typically we do them the day after town council meetings to provide people an update on what happened at the previous night's meeting. But I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now, graduations, you know, school's about to let out. In addition to that, we have some discussions relative to Bird Island, so a lot of residents were at that meeting. But other than that, you know, every month we have these Q&As, so let your friends, neighbors know about it so they can get the information from the source, you know, the town.
Directly from you guys, yes. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh.
All right, Chloe, do you have any additional?
No, I don't. So maybe I'll let you go because you might have other things to discuss.
No, I just got to tuck my kids in and read them a book. So.
Okay, that's good. That's a good, very good objective for tonight.
Yes, ma'am. All right, Chloe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Very good. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Chloe.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye
Thanks,
now.
Chloe.
Bye.